Hello YouTube, Clarrisani here again, and whoa, been a couple of weeks since I did one of these videos, but let's get into it. Well, I've just to update first on the situation with the three kids, the three Aboriginal children, where what youngest is being taken away. At the moment, there is no change. The foster parents are fighting it. They're currently seeking a good family lawyer, but there has currently been no change in the situation. Some people have said that it's what information I've given was too vague. There's a reason for that. For legal reasons, I cannot say the names or the specifics, like why they were taken from their mother. I can't say where exactly this town that they're going to move to is. I mean, I actually don't know the name of that town, but I do know roughly where it is. And just to disclose something which I didn't disclose, I do actually know this foster family. The foster parents have known me since before I was born, so I do actually know these children. I do actually know this family, so I do sort of have a stake in this game. And I've seen how distraught these three children are right now. I mean, they are a mess, as you can imagine, that they're going to be separated. So the fight for them is still ongoing. Now, other things that have been going on. Well, we had an ideologue get arrested for contempt of court. That situation in particular, I don't like the idea of there being media bans on blanket gag orders on court proceedings. I don't like it. I believe in the freedom of the press. At the same time, if there is an order in place, you can't breach it. That's just the way it goes. And unfortunately, you know who did actually breach that order. Now, the other thing that happened is Bering got his account deleted. There's a lot of people going around saying it was flagged down. I don't think it was. I think what actually happened is it got caught up in the recent purge that YouTube has been doing of people advertising certain things on their channels as sponsors. Bering had done so. I don't believe in the channels being taken down if they get caught for doing this, but the fact that Bering did have previous strikes against his channel for copyright from the person that actually owned the actual design of the bear character, it's quite possible that the fact that that channel had already got a mark against it, that was why it was taken down. What else has been going on? You got your usual Trump mess. Yes, we've got a little bit of interesting news. Australia's minimum wage is going up. Yes, Australia's minimum wage is going up to $18.93. That is the base rate here in Australia per hour. That is the minimum wage in Australia. Compare that to the minimum wage in America. We are earning double. Now, don't take into account the currency exchange rate, because then it works about even. But we average workers here will be earning, as of July 1st, $18.93, whereas American workers are earning less than $8 an hour. So it's still not a living wage, but it's a wage. Our Banking Royal Commission, this has been a bit fun. If you haven't heard, Australia's currently got a Royal Commission, an inquiry into the banks, and particularly our Big Four. There was a long push to get this happening, and what we're actually finding is, as you can imagine, the banks have been doing a few dodgies. For example, the Commonwealth Bank, which was formerly the Public Bank of Australia until it was privatised, well, it was found out that they were using the children's accounts. They were creating children's accounts so that the staff could get bonuses. They were putting 10 cents in each one, and of course that's all these new open accounts, and they'd get bonuses for those accounts. That was what one bank's done. We've had unfair fees, of course. We've found that one bank was working with different terrorist entities across the world, but basically knowingly participating in laundering money for terrorist organisations. And the list goes on of all the dodgy things that are happening. So we've also seen the tail end of the Royal Commission into sexual abuse of children that under the care of the Catholic Church. And at the moment, the whole thing is centred around George Pell and Cardinal George Pell, and he has been indicted. So we're waiting to see what's going to happen with him. He's facing several charges, particularly for cover-up. So we've got all that fun and games going on. And we've also, of course, got the arrival of winter. Being a bit chilly here now. But yeah, it's freezing quite a while. We've also got the whole Roseanne versus Samantha Bee thing. They're not even comparable. Samantha Bee used a C word, which I don't use personally myself, but some people do. Some countries, it's a and even here in Australia, in some places, it's considered actually a compliment term. It can be a negative or it can be a positive, but people are going off about her, wanting her fired, saying that she should be fired because Roseanne Barr was fired because Roseanne Barr is a racist piece of shit. Not comparable. And honestly, if you want to compare apples to apples, you have to compare Samantha Bee to Ted Nugent, who called Hillary Clinton the exact same word, actually called for her to be attacked, be shot, just implied it heavily, and he got invited to the White House. And yeah, you've also got Mr. Commander-in-Chief himself, who's a outright misogynist, among other things. But yeah, it's America, what are you doing? It's just hard to believe that you went from having a nuclear physicist as your president to having a reality TV show host with a long history of failed businesses and bankruptcies. It's just, yeah. And my husband and I have been having lots of arguments about, just in fun, not serious arguments about the stock market and how it's set up to fail, and we are overdue for another downturn, and it's going to be a bad one given that the current American stock market is artificially inflated as all the companies have been buying back their shares with the money that they got from the tax cuts. The money's not going to the workers as it should be, it's going back to CEOs and to buybacks. So once those buybacks end, you can kiss the stock market goodbye. And we've got a housing bubble here in Australia. We've got to have a car bubble, as they call it, with loans on cars. We've got that as well. And then they've got all the trade war going on. So far, Australia has managed to get away with not being part of America's tariff list. I mean, Canada got hit, Europe got hit, and China got hit, but so far we've managed to get away with it. But we will feel the effects of it as products are going to be more expensive to make and therefore more expensive here. Which, of course, brings me to my last thing. Amazon has now put up a thing saying they're going to refuse to ship to Australia from anything other than the Australian version. So if you buy anything on the American or British versions of Amazon, they will not ship to Australia because they will not apply our government sales tax. They can apply all the other taxes to everyone else, but they will not apply the government sales tax, which our government has mandated must be applied to all online sales. it's a matter of who's going to flinch first, and we know that our government doesn't flinch, which is why our car industry has gone under. I mean, Ford, Holden, if you don't know, is another, or owned by General Motors. Toyota, they all shut down their plants and caused mass job losses here in Australia over the last few years because our government refused to continue subsidising them. So who flinched first? Neither one did. Our car industry shut down, and it's estimated 200,000 to 300,000 jobs gone, just gone. And then that's not including the fact that they're shipping all of our jobs, even our jobs to make our submarines, has gone over to international rather than in-house. So, yeah, it's a mess. So that's where I'm going to leave it for today. I hope you're all well. Hopefully I can come back with some good news about what's happening with those 3 children. But I'm just going to continue shivering through this cold winter day. It's not raining at least, but I'm living on the outskirts of Melbourne, so I'll probably have snow later, followed by a heat wave. We're not joking. There is a reason that Crowded House has a song called 4 Seasons in One Day, named after this city. So, see you on the other side. Always keep fighting.